Hi, my name is Carly, and I will be discussing 3 different works by 3 different authors. The first one is Schrodinger's Cat by Ursula Le Guin. The second one is The Happiest I've Been by John Updike. And the third is Forgetfulness by Billy Collins. I know a lot of people talked about the author's background, but I'm not going to bore you guys with all that. It's too much information. No offense, guys.
Very well. Where do I begin? My father was a relentlessly self-improving boulangerie owner from Belgium with low-grade narcolepsy and a penchant for buggery. My mother was a 15-year-old French prostitute named Chloe with webbed feet. My father would womanize, he would drink, he would make outrageous claims like he invented the question mark. Sometimes he would accuse chestnuts of being lazy, the sort of general malaise that only the genius...
So let's talk about the summary of Schrodinger's Cat, and I put an animated picture up to show kind of what the story's about, which is all about cats, guys.
Din din. I want chicken, I want liver, meow mix, please deliver.
Kidding, it's not all about cats, guys. Let's talk about Schrodinger's Cat by Ursula Le Guin. She tells it in a different way, but it's still the same thought experiment proposed by Erwin Schrödinger, where a cat is put in a box with a poisonous gas that is rigged, so it might or might not kill the cat. So, is the cat dead or alive? So, according to quantum physics, since we don't know when or if the poison has been released, we won't know until the box is opened, so it can be thought of as the cat is both alive and dead. Which is so fascinating because it's a 50-50% outcome of the cat's going to be alive or the cat's going to be dead. But with either outcome, you are in one world versus the other. Or so it is proposed. So there's one reality where the cat's alive and another reality where the cat's dead in this theory. And that's the basis of that one. And the next story, The Happiest I've Been by John Updike, where the main character is named John, and he's a sophomore in college, just like us. Shout out to the sophomores! With his friend Neil, and he's also a childhood friend of his. So they both try and navigate their changing relationship through college with each other, and that friendship transition from childhood to adulthood, and from the past to the future. However, it starts to get a bit tricky when a girl gets involved, and John asks Neil about it.
What about Jackson?
Are you still pining over Jackson?
No. God, no. Why, is he seeing someone?
Actually, that's really how John approaches it, and he finds out that Neil is with her, and, he's a bit disappointed. And last but not least, Forgetfulness by Billy Collins, which is a poem, and it reads, "The name of the author is the first to go, followed obediently by the title, the plot, the heartbreaking conclusion, the entire novel, which suddenly becomes one you have never read, never even heard of. As if, one by one, the memories you used to harbor decided to retire to the southern part of the brain, to a little fishing village where there are no phones. Long ago, you kissed the names of the 9 muses goodbye and watched the quadratic equation pack its bag. And now, as you memorize the order of the planets, something else is slipping away. A state flower, perhaps. The address of an uncle. The capital of Paraguay. Whatever it is you are struggling to remember, it is not poised on the tip of your tongue, or even lurking in some obscure corner of your spleen. It has floated away, down a dark, mystical river, whose name begins with an L, as far as you can recall. Well on your own way to oblivion, where you will join those who have even forgotten how to swim and how to ride a bicycle. No wonder you rise in the middle of the night to look up the date of a famous battle in a book on war. No wonder the moon in the window seems to have drifted out of a love poem that you used to know by heart." You might ask, what do all of these stories that basically don't have anything to do with each other related? Well, by the theme, of course, which they all have in common, which is the past, the present, and the future, the unknown, reminiscing, losing aspects in your life, the irony, and the mystery, of course. So, the themes that are related in Schrodinger's cat would be the time in which the cat is there. So, I mean, it's too late to go back in time and take the cat out, and we don't really know what's going to happen, 2 hours from now if the cat's going to be dead or alive, so we're kind of just waiting it out. And, all those aspects of the past of what you did and the future of what you don't know and the present of just waiting. And the whole aspect of it is the mystery of not knowing what's going to happen. But yet, eventually you will open the box. And will you be happy or will you be disappointed? Which all relates back to life experience, Will you be happy in your life? Will you have disappointing moments? But you don't know when it's going to happen. That's the mystery of it.
You like biscuits from a schoolboy. All right, you son of a bitch. You better get yourself ready because I'm about to kick.
This thought experiment actually reminds me of the placebo effect, what people do, when they prescribe people stuff to see if it works or not, or if it's just in their head. I feel like people get hung up on the concept of it's a cat, and it's just about the cat.
You're a cat man. Do I have brains in my head? Do I have a heart in my chest? Who is this stunning creature? Her moniker is Mikado.
However, it's really just about human nature and how we think. We have two options, and we always give ourselves two options in our head. And it's specifically for our ego and knowing we have options, even though we really don't.
Why make trillions when we could make billions?
A trillion is more than a billion, numbnuts.
Wait. Of course we have options in our life, but as we go on, we lose some of those options in life, in our choices, because of certain outcomes and situations. Shout out to all my cat people out there.
Do be careful. She doesn't normally like... My God. What? Oh, does she prefer the left side? She doesn't normally let anyone touch her except me. I happen to have a way with those of the feline persuasion. Do you have any cream?
So moving along to the next one, the happiest I've been. So, takes place, in college, but he's reminiscing of his childhood with his best friend, and they have grown up together and they've done everything together, but now he's looking back to all of the good memories that have now turned out to be different now that they're older and women are coming along and changing their friendship, and they're going back and forth on what they believe in and what they will or will not agree with. So John really loses some of that childhood and his past in this new, confusing, unknown future that he has in college, with his best friend, just with his life in general. However, he looks back at the lessons that he's learned since then and learns how to appreciate how he grew up and who he is because of it. And yet he knows he still has a long way to go in learning how these identities really help him in finding out who he is and who he wants to become.
We all wear masks, metaphorically speaking.
Okay.
So I really think forgetfulness really teaches you about, how people think so much, about getting older and forgetting things and, just aging in general. And I think people get too caught up in thinking about that. They forget to live their life, their young life, their middle-aged life. And eventually it's just all you end up thinking about. It's what your whole world consists of, is what will happen once I'm old.
Jackson is like a cookie. People want to lose weight, they don't eat the cookie. And they get so hung up on not having the cookie. And their whole life is about the cookie.
My whole life is not about the cookie.
This poem really emphasizes the future we will all someday experience, and it tries to give insight to live in the present and appreciate what we have and take it all in. This poem wants us to not look back at our past, but to realize now how good we have it to walk, to swim, to ride a bike. Because instead of wishing we don't forget, how about we hope to look back and want to forget what we have done?
Great. Okay, let's get you prepped and ready. Dr. Shepard, Dr. Finn.
Now all my boys are here. They're all so handsome and such good kissers.
Oh, come on. Excuse me? She's on drugs.
He's an excellent kisser.
You two did it? You didn't know?
It wasn't a date so much as a disastrously uncomfortable sexual experience.
Oh, I can't be.
None of you can be here. Bailey, all my boyfriends are here.
So, it leaves us off here, in Schrodinger's cat. What will happen to the cat? Do we want to know, since it's a 50% chance good, 50% chance bad? In The Happiest I've Been, what will happen in your adult life? Will you be ready when it comes? How do you prepare? How do you look forward to the future and let go of the past? And in Forgetfulness, what will happen in old age? What happens when you fade away? And what lies beyond death? So I end it here with a question to leave you guys with. Ponder for a while. Is it worth knowing? Is it all worth knowing?